pool generate these flakes? Well, I'm going to show you how to clean your salt cells so you can help mitigate or cut down on them. As you can tell, I got them. They bunch up in certain areas. I like to form around that. I like to form here in the hot tub. I've got them all moved around right now. There's a little bit right there. Yeah, it's caused by the rising calcium levels and lack of CO2 from what I've read. So I'll show you how to clean your salt cell. So the reason you get flakes in your pool is because your salt cell, mine is the pentair one, you get this stuff, this buildup here. And so you see it's tough to see from that angle, but it's back on this side and right there. You have to get as much of it as you can off with your finger or something, and then do a muriatic acid water solution to pour in there, and then let it sit, kind of eat away at it, and then blast it out with a hose. And you need to pick up one of these kit cleaning acid things. It's just a cap to go on one end so that you can fill it full of muriatic acid. I'll show you what that looks like. So a good rule of thumb, here you see I've got my muriatic acid. You want to notice that it's got the number 2 plastic symbol. I got these 2 Lowe's buckets. They're both made out of the same number 2 symbol. So you know that the acid won't eat this plastic. This one will be my clean acid solution. This one will be my dirty one, or my disposable. And what you do is you put water in it first, then some muriatic acid. Put the cap on this thing down here, I'll do it on the cable end, and then you'll all fill this end up until it's everything, all the components are submerged, and then leave it for a couple minutes, probably 2. But once you pour it in there, if you see it bubbling too much or it's too active, you need to dump it out and add more water to your acid solution. Or if you don't see enough bubbles or enough activity going on, you need to, again, dump it out, start over, and add more acid to your solution. You're trying to look for a balance where you see some activity, but not too much, because maybe the muriatic acid will eat away at your components if you leave it too long, or if it's too strong. I've ruined one of these by trying to let it sit and soak for too much, and it'll actually eat away at it. So it's a delicate balance. You gotta be careful, just pay attention, trial and error. This process can take, upwards to 20 minutes or so. And then as things loosen up, I've got a little something that I use to poke away at the buildup to try to loosen it out. And then I use a hose to blow out what comes loose. You see here, I've got it filled up and submerged. It's real gently. You see a little bit of reactivity in there. That's what you want. So I'll let it sit here for a couple minutes, and then I'll dump it into my waste bucket. I'll do it again after a couple minutes of letting it sit, dump this stuff into my waste bucket, and then I'll take off this cap and then blast it all out with a hose and rinse and repeat until all that's cleaned out. All right, after it's all said and done, it should look more like that. Rarely is it perfect, but it depends on how much time you have and how well it all comes off, how long it's been sitting there. Here's all the aftermath. You can see the flakes. There's my junk bucket, and there's flakes all over the place from me blowing it out with a hose. So now it's time to reinstall my salt cell and turn the pool back on. All right, well, got it all installed. Just turned it on. See the pool flushing out all the air that's in the system. And now this thing is flowing. Got my foil green light on, and it'll blink red and green there until it determines if the salt's adequate. But that's how you clean your salt cell and help prevent those flakes. It doesn't last forever, obviously. Over time it builds up, and you just have to, it has to be part of your regular cleaning schedule. So that's what you have to do. All right, so that's how you clean it.
Things that I've found to help prevent it or slow it down is if you find it building up flakes too quickly, you could drain your pool some. I've done it where I've dropped it down about 1/3 and then refilled it with fresh water. That has a tendency to, I believe, drop the calcium levels, and so it takes, over time, that stuff has to build back up. Well, in the meantime, you don't have flakes, and the buildup on your salt cell is reduced considerably. Another thing that I'm trying right now is a calcium preventer. I got it from Leslie's Pools. And the first month you put the whole jug in there, and then for maintenance moving forward, every month you put about 5 ounces, I believe. I've got some more in the mail that I'll be continuing to treat my pool with every month, in the hopes that it will just slow down. But you have to do this. I'm doing it about once a month. You have to take the salt cell out and clean it and do your muriatic acid solution. Make sure you're not wearing clothes you like, because I have a tendency to ruin pants whenever I do this. And it's good to wear eye pro as well. You know, there's a lot of splattering that goes on with your hose, and so you don't want that stuff in your eyes or your mouth or anything like that. So just be mindful, pay attention, you know, be safety. Have your safety in mind. And what else? I think that's about it. Just regular cleaning. Pay attention to your chemicals. People say that if you keep your pH in check and under control, that has a tendency to slow it down. I haven't noticed a difference. Doesn't matter really how much I mess with my pH, as long as I'm adding acid once a week, or if I even do it more than that. It just doesn't matter. It builds up, and everyone I talk to down at the pool store, they say it's just something you just got to clean. So just something to do when you have a salt system. But if you like that video, please give it a like, share it with people who need it, and y'all take care.